What words would you use to best describe the end? It feels empty, detached from reality, almost as if it was a place that was never meant to exist. There is this strange feeling I get when I'm running around the end, like I do not belong there, like I was never meant to be there. It's an interesting feeling. Sometimes I go to the edge of an island and look out into the void. It's a surreal and almost calm vibe. I kind of like it, but at the same time, I do wish there was more to this place. It's been years since anything has changed. And I think many people, myself included, are ready for a change. Before 2020, Minecraft's Nether dimension was a barren and boring wasteland. We had one biome to wander through aimlessly until, by chance, we stumbled across the only structure in the entire dimension, the fortress. This was, at the time, suitable for many people. When the Nether was first introduced in 2010, it was a wonderful addition to the game. The new dimension was frightening, and the zombie pigmen were a force to be reckoned with. With the addition of the Nether fortresses, players were given an actual reason to explore this terrifying dimension. However, it didn't take long for people to want a Nether update. Popular mods like Nethercraft sought to give the Nether more use and interesting mechanics. Hell, I used to go in creative mode and make nether trees from quartz and other different blocks, and make different biomes in the nether, just for fun. And many people in the community had different ideas on how to improve the nether. Suffice to say, when the nether update came out, it was one of Mojang's best updates. It added 4 new biomes, each with their own vibe and plenty of new foliage, hostile creatures, and even new ores to go with it. All of these features came together to really amplify and bring to life a terrifying and hostile environment. You could find some kinship in the piglings, but if you weren't wearing gold or dare to take their treasure, they would attempt to dispose of you as fast as possible. Trekking through the basalt deltas felt like exploring hellish national parks. In this sense, the Nether began to feel like a more hostile and frightening version of the overworld. The overworld is expansive, full of life and prospering villages. Meanwhile, the Nether is full of decaying ruins, undead pigs, and dread. The new biomes really sold this idea to me. The Soul Sand Valleys are particularly annoying, albeit thematically genius biome. The bones everywhere and the sounds of lost souls crying in agony is a particularly dark and immersive experience. Then there's Netherite. I've already talked about how wonderful I think Netherite is in my video about Minecraft 1.21. You should totally watch it, but I'll give a short summary. Netherite did not just add a new tier of tools and armor, it changed how we think about crafting materials and introduced new functionality in the form of upgrading diamond gear, and later, in 1.20, smithing templates. I think these mechanics are a wonderful change to Minecraft's progression. Switching up how we craft things introduces meaningful progression in the form of learning something new. We all had to learn how to craft the new nether ingots. I may have my issues with the smithing templates, mainly the fact that it only generates in bastions, but other people have covered that idea way better than I have. So what does all of this have to do with the end? Well, it is my belief that the end should get a similar update to the one that we got to the Nether back in 2020. The end is another barren dimension with, well, one biome and one structure. You see in the comparison to the old Nether here? While at its core, the Nether feels hostile and condensed, the end feels foreign and alien. Not necessarily hostile, but definitely alien. I always got the vibe that I wasn't supposed to be there, like I was a true outsider. There was nothing in the end that makes sense. The land is broken into chunks that float in a strange void. Chorus plants are unlike anything seen in the overworld, and the end city is impossibly laid out in weird and bizarre directions. It sort of looks like something a human would make, but at the same time it really doesn't. It's supposed to feel alien to players, unnerving even. I think this vibe of feeling alien to this realm, but not necessarily in danger like the Nether, is key to the end's aesthetic. The end should not feel like this hostile realm with disturbing creatures out to get you at every turn. It should feel like a world that has grown and flourished entirely separate from the overworld, devoid of any human contact. You should feel alone in the end. So how can you create biomes that instill the same feeling into a player without making it feel like just another Nether update? How do we keep that alien wasteland-like feeling while adding in new biomes, mobs, or structures? I think we can start with a few premises. 1. The end should not feel innately hostile toward the player. It should feel like the player is safe, relatively speaking, unless they choose to interrupt the world. 2. Structures, such as dungeons, should feel impossible, not necessarily in terms of actual gameplay or difficulty, but in the concept and design, as if there was some sort of technology that we do not understand that makes it work. The airships in the end cities are great examples of this. They float without a balloon or any form of propulsion. Players should feel utterly baffled at how anything can exist in the end. None of it should make sense. Like, sure, there's a structure and a design to the end city. There's a layout, but it's so devoid of anything a human would make. And finally, 3, the end should expand upon what is already there and not take away from the original idea. With these in mind, I think we could probably have 3 or 4 new biomes. I don't think an exact number is necessary, but I do think adding in more verticality to each biome is. We have all this space, and yet all of the land is on a flat plane. There is a huge missed opportunity for floating islands. And something I've learned while building my own floating island world for my upcoming Minecraft server, yes, I'm plugging it again, is that floating island worlds need verticality. There is something about looking up and seeing strange lands above you that inspires awe and wonder. You can see things below and think, wow, I can't believe I got all the way up here. It's a wonderful feeling. Seeing staggered islands in the distance is just breathtaking. Vibe is really important to me, if you couldn't tell. That being said, I think taking more advantage of the y-axis would also allow the elytra to have a better use. Having biomes or clusters of islands high in the air would make a much greater use case for the elytra. It would also deter people from making those ugly 1x1 pillars into the sky. I think players would lose their minds if flying around the end had more of a purpose. Flying through different biomes and past massive end cities on your way to some new structure would be really fun. It would also be fun for servers. You could sort of make elytra races around the end and all sorts of fun new activities. And while we're talking about adding new features to the end, how about some new materials, such as ender ore or 2? I think any new material that is used to make new weapons, tools, and armors should be presented as an alternative to netherite, not as an upgrade from it. Netherite is really good. I don't think we need another armor set above it. With smithing templates, I think Mojang has set the precedent for upgrading armor in different ways. I think structures should contain ender smithing templates perhaps, or perhaps it should get some new crafting materials, or both. While netherite is fireproof, perhaps this new ender armor could negate all damage from ender pearls. While netherite tools are stronger and have more durability than diamond, perhaps the ender tools could lack the fireproof capabilities, but mine faster than diamond and maybe have higher durability than diamond. Perhaps they could be cheaper to enchant like gold, but keep the durability high and the strength high, kind of like diamond tools. There's tons of different possibilities that could be implemented. The point is that players shouldn't be given an armor or tool set above netherite. They should be given the choice between netherite and something entirely new. Allowing players to take different paths will make the end game of Minecraft feel far more interesting. I can already see forum post after forum post of people debating over which armor set is better. You may see people on servers wearing different sets or working hard to get both, but perhaps a new set of armor is a bit much for you, or a new set of tools. I can totally see that. Maybe the game doesn't need that. We already have enough. But what about something akin to the turtle shell or a trident? A singular piece of gear instead of a whole set. Maybe a chest plate fused with an elytra. It would maybe have the same defense as a diamond or iron chest plate to kind of make it properly balanced, but you could fly. I think players would have a good time trying to decide when they want to fly or maximize their defense. Bottom line, these are all just my opinions, and I understand that many people may disagree. That being said, I have seen ideas online that I don't necessarily like either. I've seen people suggest things like more dragons or end villagers that I just don't think fit thematically. They're not necessarily bad ideas, but for many, I just don't think Mojang would go for it. To be fair, I don't think Mojang would go for half of the things I've mentioned here, but I certainly have my wishes. Something that I think would fit really well for the end is something sort of akin to the Twilight Forest mod from way back in the day. There's a very specific vibe that goes with that mod, and some of the gameplay that I've been showing on the screen right now is kind of akin to that. I didn't go into specifics about biomes because I figured that really wouldn't be my place. I think a lot of people have different ideas for what end biomes can be, but ultimately I think Mojang would know what's best in that front. And I didn't go into specific of any particular mob because, again, I think Mojang would know what's best. Same with any new structures. I didn't want to go into specifics because I felt that anything should be open to interpretation and that Mojang should be the ones to decide that. But I'm just giving the baseline of what I think would be best. The end is a strange place, and I think that adding new mechanics to it, adding new mobs, and adding new structures and biomes is a really good idea. However, I think that all of these things should work together to keep the vibe that the end currently has. I want to feel alone while wandering in these strange biomes. I want to be curious, but a little uneasy about what's going on. I want to see maybe some strange mobs in the distance that I don't really know what they are, but I don't know if they're friendly or if they're foe, and I really shouldn't be able to tell until I go interact with them, and I think that's very interesting. Same with new structures. I should be able to look at something in the distance that has clearly been built by something, but not understand how it was put together, because it doesn't make sense. That's what I love about the end, and the end cities, and the shulkers, and the endermen. None of it really makes sense. That's the beauty of it. If you have your own ideas for how the end should be updated, go ahead and tell me in the comment section below. I put a lot of work into the footage. I downloaded some data packs. I made some stuff from my own server for just some ideas on maybe what the end could look like. The data pack I downloaded was, it's in the description. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I apologize. But I will make sure to put the name of it in the footage. You'll probably have already seen it. It's a really good data pack. It makes the end really interesting, and it's a lot of fun. I recommend getting it. So anyway, thank you guys again for watching the video. It means a lot to me. And I want to thank everybody who's been a new subscriber. My subscriber count has damn near tripled, I think, like 2.5 times. You know, we've doubled and plus a little more. That's crazy to me. My subscriber count went from 330 on like Thursday night, and now here we are Sunday evening. And you know what? Fuck it. Let's check it real quick. I want to check it. 806 as of time of recording. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, but I want to thank you guys. It's been crazy to watch my video go from, 5 views, 100 views, 1,000. Now we're sitting at 85,000 views according to my YouTube studio, which is usually a little off. Everything's a little off. But it's been really great. I'm really excited to keep making content. YouTube's been my dream since I was 11, which was 11 years ago. I keep saying that a lot, but I've been doing this for a long time, albeit I've gone through phases. But if you guys want to join my Minecraft server, there's a link in the description. There's also a link to join my YouTube's Discord. I'm not really on that one as much because it's not really relevant to me right now. I have way too much going on to be able to take care of that. But I am more into the Minecraft server Discord, if that's something you want to hang out with me. I talk a lot more there because it's about a project that I'm actively working on. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, and let me know how you feel about the video. I want to hear some genuine criticisms or genuine thoughts, like good thoughts, bad thoughts. I don't give a fuck. Just be nice or be intelligent about it. Oh, by the way, the left-handed jokes are like the funniest thing. I am actually left-handed. That's not a joke. Like I'm actually left-handed. That's not, whatever. You get the point. Okay, bye.